Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Deal with D and J. I'm co-host Jacob Pereira. Alongside me, a different D filling in today, Mr. Drew McDonald, the Spinnaker Swiss Army knife, the UFL champion now, I can call him officially, with the DC Defenders. Mr. McDonald, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Jacob. Mentioned our UFL championship. Walked into the Battle of St. Louis, won their 2 games in 2 weeks, won the title. Got Jordan Tamu, elite quarterback, possibly get an NFL invite in the fall. Who knows? But great experience with there. But I'm back here on this podcast to talk a ball, so I'm happy about that.
Let's just dive right into it here. The biggest news of maybe the entire weekend, dominating headlines, is Rafael Devers was traded from the Boston Red Sox. Rafael Devers traded for Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, I believe Brandon Tibbs. Apologies if
James
I.
Tibbs.
Yep. And a couple other players, I believe. And the Giants receive Rafael Devers. Immediate gut reactions is Boston cannot get out of its own way. The cyclical cycle just always happens. It's the earth is round type of theory where you think things are going to change, but it's the definition of legit insanity. Legit, you think things are going to change and yet nothing does. They traded away again their best hitter in the team right now, arguably, according to Hunter of Hammered and Homers, he thinks he's a Hall of Famer potentially, or on his way to being one, right? And now he's gone. He's going to go play in San Francisco, where San Francisco desperately needed a bat, and they got one. Buster Posey pulling off deals. I think Red Sox fans knew there was a lot of disdain going on with Devers, right? But they expected more back for Devers, not the package that they received.
Jacob, we're big wrestling fans, and this for fans was like RKO out of nowhere. Like, this came out of nowhere, RKO for the fans. Like, to have Rafael Devers, your last piece of the 2018 World Series team, you trade away. It's kind of like the end of an era for those Red Sox. And, they signed Bregman in the offseason to be a third baseman. He's a better third baseman defensively than Devers. Devers is a better hitter, though. So they said, hey, Rafa, going to play first base. He said, no, I'm third baseman. So he was not able to play for the team, to switch positions to help the team succeed. And we see Bregman at third base. Tristan Casas this year ends up being hurt. Rafi played first base, now I'm a DH. Like, he never did play for the team this year, what it seems like. And the Red Sox try to find someone to take him, and they basically sent him to San Francisco, where you have Matt Chapman, who is hurt now. Wilmer Flores is a great power hitter, and he had his press conference today, so he wants to play like whatever the team is to be. That's kind of like eyewash. Like, we'll see how actually happens this year, but to lose Rafi in this way, it definitely is rough for Red Sox fans. They're trying to contend this year. Just a really terrible, situation for them. But hopefully, I don't know, they can get a wild card this year. The Red Sox, who knows?
I genuinely don't know. Kind of like when you look at it on both sides of the coin, on the one hand, you got rid of a guy who your roster was loaded first and foremost. Like, there was too much loaded up, right? You had Rafaela and Abreu and Duran, and then you called up Anthony and Meyer and Campbell, right? And so, like, I think for Boston, you kind of look at it as, is it tough given the way they've played in the last 2-3 weeks? Yeah, it's tough. You're in a playoff spot. You're in a playoff spot. You've stolen 5 out of 6 games against the Yankees in the last 2 weeks, right? And, you feel like you're getting some hope, and then it gets ripped just straight out of your soul, just straight out of there. And it just sucks. But you're getting rid of a guy who wasn't willing to be for the team. And I think Big Papi said that best is try telling your employer what to do. You'd be out of a job tomorrow. That's exactly kind of like the best way to describe it is you have to do what's best for the team because that's ultimately what matters. The team wins games, not just Rafael Devers. And now, granted, on the Rafael side of things, You're a third baseman. And you kind of knew they were trying to get Arenado, and then they opted for Bregman. And then Bregman gets hurt, and he doesn't want to play third base. He's a DH. And then they ask him to play first. I'm a DH. That's what you've asked me to play. So I think there's a lot of internal beef going on. I think the players weren't like mad at Rafi, but I think the sentiment and the message it sends to the front office is not a good one. And Breslow is like, I have to move him before we continue to have this fiasco in the long run. But then again, you just signed Devers to an 11-year contract. Like, I think, like, you say all these little things, but if you also got to think no team is going to go get Devers and pay the $250 million. Only the Giants will do that because they missed out on Shohei and they missed out on Judge. So now they got Devers at a cheaper price point than both those players.
And you're also, you're bringing in Marcel Meyer, Ron Anthony, and Campbell, these young guys. Like, who's gonna be an example for those guys as a locker room leader, not Devers. So, like, to have him the root from that's kind of good for the young guys to get the fresh look on who can be their mentor for this season. Because, like, to have those guys be mentored by a good person, be great for their development, just like it's tough because this is the last piece of the puzzle for the 2018 World Series team, and it's kind of a new era of Red Sox baseball. And we've seen Jared Krabus' take on it. All those guys, just it's tough to see for this historic franchise how poorly they've fallen these past 24 hours.
Yeah, I think for Red Sox fans, it's tough because you could look at a team 5 years ago, and if you just kept everybody through, who knows how good the Red Sox are. But then again, if that's the case, like if management was different, then you probably don't have Anthony or Campbell or Marcelo Meyer on your team either, because you probably would trade them for pieces. So I'm not quite sure how a Red Sox fan feels. I think they're kind of over the Red Sox, and being a fan of it's tough. But I like the trade for both sides. I don't like what Boston got back, but I like what they got rid of. In terms of, like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that you should have got rid of Devers. No. But if he is causing problems and he's not going to do what the team needs, get him out of there. Rip the Band-Aid off. It sucks now, but you got Crochet long-term. You're going to have to sign Meyer and Anthony pre-arb, and then you got to re-sign Bregman or get another third baseman in free agency.
And you're a big Cardinals fan, Jacob. Where are the Sox getting in Jordan Hicks and their return?
They're gonna get a guy who throws hard. That's it. He's 1-5 with a 6 ERA right now. He thinks he's a starter, but he can't be a closer either. So he's in this weird in between. You're just getting another arm, honestly. I think Kyle Harrison's had a good year, but really, like, they got Tibbs out of Florida State, who was ACC Player of the Year and hits bombs. So, like, I kind of like Boston's return, but it's not as much as I think they could have got at all.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think that Harrison could be a good number 5 in the rotation, a good depth piece for your rotation. Tibbs could be out in a couple of years. I think there could be good long-term benefits with this deal, but short-term probably not.
Short-term sucks. Like, I think if the Red Sox don't make the playoffs, Breslow, there might be some strikes outside of Fenway. You know what I'm saying? But we shall see in totality. Well,
Imagine
Drew,
the Netflix documentary this year though for the Red Sox be crazy.
Yeah, jeez, man. Last night being Monday night, Shohei Ohtani pitched. He pitched 2 innings. Was shaking off a ton of rust. He did hit 100 though, which is cool. But really, that's all there was kind of to it. Yeah. Shohei pitching. I will say I am shocked that he is pitching. I will say that.
Yeah, his command wasn't there, but the feel was. You can see, dotting the hundreds, but he did face, the Padres with, Machado and Tatis and Bogarts. So it was kind of tough for him to face, but, good for the Dodgers fans to see Shohei on the mound in person, and hopefully he can kind of build his way back up to where his cap is as pitcher.
For sure. But Drew, let's not dilly-dally here, and let's do our MLB ballots for the All-Star. Here we are. We're going to go in position order the way they have it here. Right? First, second, third, shortstop, catcher, 3 outfield, and a DH. All right? This is going to be a me and you collective effort. This is the deal with D&J's official All-Star ballot. Right now.
TM,
trademarked. All right, here we go. They got the first and the second, so we know exactly who everybody is and where everybody stands. Right? Let's talk about the American League first basemen. Right? The biggest names that jump off the bat, Paul Goldschmidt and Vlad Guerrero Jr. are battling for the 1-2, essentially. All right, Paul Goldschmidt on the year. We have the stats, which is why I like the All-Star ballot. You can see everything. Paul Goldschmidt, 309 average, 7 home runs, 31 RBIs, 820 OPS. Guerrero, 274, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, 789 OPS. You can look at Vinny Pasquantino, 275, 10 home runs, 39 RBIs, 747 OPS. Torkelson, 233, 16 home runs, 47 RBIs, 831 OPS. Give me your first thoughts before I discuss who I'm feeling.
I always not like how certain fan bases can like stuff the ballots and these things, like how, because honestly, like a lot of these first seconds don't represent like the quality of players actually they're on this ballot. But I'm a big fan of physics, Jacob, and one thing I love in physics is torque. So give me Torkelson, first base, all-star. For a first rounder from the Detroit Tigers, that's a breakout year with power. It definitely is a big part of this Detroit thump in the AL Central. So give me Torkelson as my first baseman of the All-Star team.
Well, remember, we're voting together here.
Okay, that's my pick.
We're voting together. I love the Torkelson. 16 home runs, 47 RBIs. I mean, significantly more than Goldie and Guerrero, right? Has, I believe, a higher OPS than both of them, but his batting average is 233, which makes it hard for me, right? My personal vote, I love the way Paul Goldschmidt has played this year. Batting 309, 7 home runs, 31 RBIs, 820. You got to also think he's not playing every day, right? Ben Rice is probably getting some work at first as well. Maybe Bellinger gets some work at first. So I'm a Goldie guy. I don't mind Torkelson. I don't think he will be it, even though his 3 out of his 4 numbers are significantly better than everybody's in the AL. But I do think Paul Goldschmidt with the average, after the years that he's had, like last year in St. Louis was really bad, to now being 309 again, 820 OPS on a very, very good team. I like Paul Goldschmidt as potentially my vote. Now, sway me on Torkelson and all that.
I think Goldschmidt, he plays in a phone booth at Yankee Stadium, and the fact that I think he has had a great season.
Hold on. I can go back and forth in between tabs, so
okay.
We'll redo the whole bit. Tabs. One for you, one for me. I want you to give me your pick for first base in the American League and tell me why, and we'll do that and so on and so forth. Paul Goldschmidt, 274, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, 789 OPS. Sneaky guy, Spencer Torkelson, 16 home runs, 47 RBIs, 831 OPS, 233 average. Pasquantino, 275, 10 home runs, 39 RBIs, 747 OPS. Who are you voting for and why?
I'm a big fan of physics, Jacob, and I love torque, as in Torkelson from the Tigers. He's a former first-round pick from the Tigers, has a really great outburst this year of power, leading this really great Tigers team in the AL Central. I think it's be a first nomination or selection in the All-Star game. From a guy from the market team that's not exactly a big market team, it's cool to see him represent the Tigers at first base. I think that the power is overwhelming and it shows, and I think he'd be a great addition to this team because he's this young guy with a lot of power that could definitely catch a lot of viewers for this All-Star game.
I agree. I think looking at Torkelson here is a great spot. I think underrated in and of itself. For me, I think I have to go Paul Goldschmidt. I think it's too easy. Not too easy, but it just feels right. After the season he had last year to the season he's having this year, it's nothing short of impressive. And I really think this is a great year for Paul Goldschmidt. I think if Torkelson's average was up higher, I think we'd be talking about him like a no-doubter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All
and
right.
I mean it's cool to see a guy his age still succeed in the league. Goldschmidt, the MVP in 2020, what, one or two? What was it? It's one of those
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
He has been All Star since. So let's see, he's been All Star since I want to say 2019, 2018. So it's been a minute for him. But I definitely agree with your pick, Jacob. It's not my pick, but I respect your pick because it shows how you can still battle time and succeed. So go Goldie.
I'm a stay on my page here and go with the National League. Pete Alonso, 293, 17 home runs, 63 RBIs, 960 OPS. The Polar Bear is smashing baseballs, having an incredible year. Freddie Freeman, though, 339 home runs, 41 RBIs, 951 OPS. Right? I also love Bryce Harper. Problem with Bryce Harper is that he's missed a decent amount of games. And I'm a Bryce Harper guy. I love Bryce. But for me, I think my vote is Pete Alonso. I think the way that he's played and everything that's gone through and transactioned in New York, and they are the best team in baseball. 63 RBIs is significant, so he has the home runs to back, but he's also batting in runs as well, hoping the team has a great OPS. Batting average near the 300 is phenomenal. And the fact that, Freddie Freeman's in there, I think a lot of people really like Freddie. Remember, this is a fan vote, and that doesn't always mean the right players or the best players get in. But I do think my vote is for Pete Alonso.
I like your pick, Jacob. I mean, Pete Alonso, playing high school guy from Tampa. I'm sure you're aware of that. But I gotta go with the most consistent first baseman in the last 15 years of baseball, Frederick Freeman. MVP in 2020, had the most amazing walk-off home run World Series last year. To bat 330 this season, an OPS over 900. I hate doing the first pick, but to have those stats at his age, he's at the most fluid swing. He's a stand-up guy. I cannot go against my guy Freddie Freeman.
Second base is all yours in the American.
Second base, I think for this one, but a slithery one, a snake one, Mr. Ketel Marte. The pot calls the Ketel Black. Right there, second base, my pick. He's got a lot of pop in his bat. He began the year injured, but having just 12 home runs, 23 ribbies. He's a guy that's been a proven second baseman the past 5 years. That's my pick for second base.
Well, I said the American, but we'll do the National League.
Crap. Oh my
No,
gosh.
you're good. Listen, we roll with the punches here. In the National League, I think this is one of the toughest things there is. Because Brendan Donovan, the Swiss Army knife, 313 average, 29 RBIs, 821 OPS. Tommy Edman, 247, 10 home runs, 741, 35 RBIs, but he's been injured. He missed some games. I mean, Ketel Marte with 288, 12 home runs, 239 RBI, 959 OPS is really where he separates himself from the pack. I am also in agreement with you that it will end up being Ketel Marte. Without trying to be biased, I really love Brendan Donovan. But, I mean, you look at the numbers, and a 959 OPS is relatively hard to beat, plus the home runs that come from Ketel Marte. So I'm in the same boat with you. Going to second base, the fact that they put Jose Altuve as a second baseman is embarrassing because he plays the outfield. Is Jackson Holiday an all-star? 256, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs, 7.
Stuffing ballots,
People
man.
are stuffing ballots. I don't think
I
he's
can't stand it.
the right guy, personally. I mean, I'm looking at this here, and to me, it's Brandon Lau. 260 average, 14 home runs, 39 RBI, 768 OPS. He has nearly better stats than everybody in this category, minus maybe the RBI. Actually, he has more RBIs. He just doesn't have I believe the average on some of these guys. For me, my vote is Brandon Lau. Kind of coming out of nowhere in that vein, just because look at those numbers, man, and he's just not getting the respect that he deserves over in Tampa Bay.
The Trout was gone because of the Storms. They got the new San Bernardino field. And actually has a very favorable very short right field wall for lefties. So you definitely use advantage of that this season. Have this race jersey, see it connect right here, and also we got Mr. Brandon Lau on the podcast. So give me Brendan Lau, my pick for second base.
We'll stay in the American League this time. I'm gonna go first here for the American League. For third base, Bregman. What an unbelievable year that he's having. 299 average, 11 home runs, 35 RBIs, 938 OPS, but he's dealing with a little bit of an injury, right? I personally love the way Junior Camanero's playing. 250, 17 bombs, 45 ribbies. Miguel Garcia, 309 average, consistent as consistent can get, right? But J-Ram, you want to talk about consistent. This guy is 324, 13, 34, 928. When you look at it, third base is tough, right? Because Caminero has two better stats with home runs and RBIs, I think, than most of the category. But J-Ram has the average and the home runs to kind of back him up. And I think for that, as much as Junior Camanero's gotten hot, Jose Ramirez is just crushing it right now in the American. So I'm going Jose Ramirez for my third baseman.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jacob. Aaron's probably the most consistent third baseman in the past 10 years of his career. He just get a lot of love. He's always been there to have 300 seasons. I go with him. Top DJ with the Guardians, so go for Jose Ramirez for my pick.
Go right into the National League for us.
National League, okay. Make sure I'm getting this correct. All right. I'm going to go with Mr. Manny Machado. Manny Machado, he's always like J-Ram, consistent, gets you a lot of extra base hits, home runs, RBIs. He is probably one of the most smooth players to watch defensively at the plate. My pick is Manny Machado.
Yeah, I think Manny Machado's a great pick for that. For me, man, Eugenio Suarez, 21 home runs, 57 RBIs, man. Wow.
He had 4 in a game this year, too.
Wow. That's really impressive. I think Matt Chapman would have been my vote if he stayed healthy, continuing what he was doing. I think for me, it has to be Suarez because of all the stats minus the average.
Jacob, go back to first baseman. Torque had the same situation with Goldie.
I think Goldie's tugging at my heartstrings a little bit too with the Cardinal connection there. Going into the National League for shortstops, there's a lot of juice here. A lot of juice.
This one bothers me, Jacob. This one bothers me, this selection.
A lot of juice.
Because no one has Ellie De La Cruz in the top 3. It bothers me. Look at him. 16 home runs, 50 ribbies, no bases, at least 20. He's not top 3. Are you kidding me? Ellie De La Cruz, book it.
Drew, you said it best for me. 16 home runs, 50 RBIs, 273 average, 850 OPS. He has better numbers than Lindor and Mookie Betts. Both of them. He's having a phenomenal year. CJ Abrams, I think, will get there eventually. Do agree with Ellie De La Cruz being our, the pick for me, given what those numbers look like. I just, again, it's a fan vote, which means not always the best player gets in there. Maybe Ellie's not the greatest in the field, like Lindor is significantly better in the field, but you can't disregard these hitting numbers, And
he plays fun baseball. He's fun guy to watch. So I had him on the All Star game to watch him with all the greatest players in the league.
Going to shortstop here, I'm gonna take my pick here in the American League. It's a 2-horse race, and that's all it is. It's between Bobby Witt and Jacob Wilson, and this is simply Jacob Wilson's having an incredible year at the dish. 362 average with 8 home runs, 38 RBIs, 902 OPS. Bobby Witt, a little bit of a down year in comparison, but defensively he has been never better. And Jacob Wilson is also great in the field. I think for the sake of it and the incredible year that he's having, how are you going to have a 360 average and not be the starting all-star at shortstop? How? Does it suck for Bobby Witt, who should be the perennial shortstop there? Yeah, but you got to respect 362 in greatness.
Jacob Wilson is the son of Jack Wilson, former Pirate shortstop. He's an incredible rookie, has an incredible average. Give him the spot, give the A's some love. Please, give the A's some love,
Going to catcher here, I'll take my little pick. I'll go the American League to start here. Man, this is a no-brainer. Has to be the big dumper. Cal Raleigh just has to be the big dumper.
Switch hitter, power scorer, like Cal Raleigh's league pick.
Like 259, leads the league in home runs with 26, 54 RBIs, 975 OPS. Oh, and he's phenomenal behind the dish. Let's not. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple.
Yep.
Same vote.
Give me the dumper in the A, please. Yeah, of course.
In the NL, who are we going with?
I'm gonna go with one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, Jacob. Give me Hunter Goodman with the Colorado Rockies. This guy is a fantasy baseball machine. He's a catcher / right fielder, and to have him have what was his stats again? I think he had like 13 or so home runs, 13 home runs, 43 RBIs, 27 average. Like, that's amazing for him. So to have one of the worst teams in baseball's catcher on her team, it's crazy, but the stats don't lie.
Hunter Goodman's a dog, man. He's a dog. I wish Ivan Herrera was in this and not Pedro Pajes, because I would have voted Herrera, but that's not an option. Agustin Ramirez having a great season in Miami. 10 home runs, 22 RBIs for him. I think I have to respect Will Smith's game. I think this is the first time we've disagreed besides third base and first base. But yeah, I think Will Smith just is seeing the ball a lot better. The home runs don't say it, but the average does. I think Will Smith and where he is doing great. And yeah, justice for Hunter Goodman. I think he should be in that 2 spot and not Carson Kelly, because Carson Kelly was hitting home runs in the first 30 games of the year, and he really hasn't done anything since. And like, he doesn't play every day. He's not the everyday catcher, unlike Goodman and Will Smith. So sometimes I think when fans are voting, it's very, again, what have you done for me lately and your fan base? That's why I think we're going to see a ton of Dodgers. But I mean, this Will Smith here is incredibly warranted, this number 1 spot in the NL. Going to the outfield. I mean, the outfield for me feels like basically a no-brainer in the NL. I'm going PCA, no-brainer. Unbelievable year this guy's having. Unbelievable year, right? Man, there's a lot of outfielders, man. I want to vote for my guy Lars Nootbaar, but we're not going to do that here. I mean, I love what James Wood has done this year this is his rookie year, correct? Technically, second year. Sophomore season, 51 RBIs, 18 home runs, 6'7" power, 284 average. I mean, that's just absurd, right? And then for me, the fact that Corbin Carroll isn't a bigger point of conversation is crazy. If I also will say Acuna should be in the mix here with a 390 and a 179 OPS. But he hasn't played a ton of games, which I think obviously inflates your numbers. But Corbin Carroll has been one of the best defensive outfielders there is. And I think it's a no-brainer to have PCA, James Wood, and Corbin Carroll in your outfield for the sake of what it is, right? If you're doing this in the way you should be voting, it should be the 3 best outfielders in all facets. Those are the 3 best outfielders. we're not, I think I saw, I think this might be on the AL side, but like Teoscar Hernandez is leading in left field. That's a disgrace, baseball fans. Like, a disgrace.
Name a more exciting trio than Corbin Carroll, PCA, and James Wood. Carroll's got elite speed. He's one of the best defensive guys. Also has a lot of pop in his bat. I actually have the outlet of Corbin Carroll right here.
There you go.
I picked you, man. But yeah, just like because Carroll says he's a good year 2023, amazing guy. Obviously in the league for at least 10 more years. Wood, he definitely has a great gap to gap power. He definitely has taken major strides this year and from a very terrible Nationals team. And then PCH is like he has this incredible ability to, like Carroll, has great speed, great power, and fans just love to watch him play. He's a very exciting brand of baseball. So I had the same side pick, Jacob. So good on you.
Going up, same all three.
Same all three for those National League guys.
Stay in the AL. Let's talk.
This was very chalk for me, Jacob. I like Riley Green after not the singer. He's a really great Tigers outfielder. Part of that great offense is leading the AL Central. 14 bombs, 49 ribbies, 822 OPS. It's definitely a very great standout year for him with the Tigers. Second is the most chalk pick of chalk picks. I mean, all rise to Judge. Aaron Judge having one of the best seasons of baseball for any player in the last 50 years. He's incredible. And then here's a wild card pick for you, Jacob. Tyler Soderstrom from the Sacramento A's. He has 14 home runs, similar kind of to Riley Green minus the average. Give me 2 A's on All Star game, please.
I mean, Soderstrom has been unbelievable for them this season, kind of really breaking out of his shell, really found the bat this year. I think for me, number one, without a shred of doubt, Aaron Judge. 377, 26 home runs, 60 RBIs, 1.226 OPS. What more do you need to say? Love the Riley Green pick. I'm in favor of the Riley Green pick as well in that realm. I mean, for me, I'm kind of at a toss-up for 3 between Stephen Kwan and Wyatt Langford, personally. Some of you might be saying this guy doesn't know ball. I'm like, just watch Wyatt Langford play. I think he is an all-star. But I think the average doesn't warrant it yet. I think Stephen Kwan is also much better in the field. So I think Stephen Kwan is going to be my third outfielder for this group. Going to designated hitter here. Here he is. Ivan Herrera. 312, 8 home runs, 32 RBIs, 928 OPS. If he was a catcher, he's the starting catcher. But unfortunately, you have Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Schwarber. I'm between those two. Quite frankly, I don't think it should even be that close, personally. The fact that, now Devers is now in the mix.
He plays where again?
Plays DH or wherever the team needs him. But prior to that, I mean, for me, it's Shohei or Schwartz. And I, personally, am going to go Kyle Schwarber.
What the heck, Jacob? You have an international superstar in Shohei Ohtani batting 300 even, 25 taters. Why would you choose Schwarbaum, the guy Kyle from Boston? No, it's Shohei Ohtani.
Because of Hoagie Fest and Schwarbaums.
The chats can go crazy on this, Jacob.
I don't care. They can fight me. I don't care. Is it Shohei? Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be like Shohei's not the greatest player of all time that we're seeing. But for the sake of trying to be different, I want to go Schwarber.
Fair.
Schwarber will make it with Shohei. It's just a matter of your votes. And I'm going to vote Schwarber.
He's probably the best leadoff hitter I'd say in the last 5 years. Leadoff home runs is always his thing. So he's been a fabric of the Phillies offense since they got him. So I definitely respect the pick, but it doesn't leave me with a good taste in my mouth.
AL designated hitter. Who you got?
What if I told you I had 3 A's on my All-Star team this year?
I was looking at Brent Rooker too. Again, it's not a popularity. Ryder Horn, 306 average, 81 OPS. but I'm not going to discredit a guy who's crushing you in 3 out of the 4 categories, and he's 15 points down, 20 points down. Give me Brent Rooker. Well, this is only for batters, unfortunately. I don't believe we're voting for pitchers quite yet. So these votes have officially been submitted for everybody involved. Drew, I think, the one thing I think we need to fix with the All-Star game, and specifically when it comes to voting, is not enough people watch consistent baseball. And we get these like Teoscar Hernandez incidences. It's just a shame, personally.
It's guys that they're part of a really good team and they're like the biggest brand of the league, so why they're kind of going to defer to him. So look at, for example, I don't know, Marcell Ozuna. He's on the Braves. The Braves are one of the most popular teams in baseball. Is he a start-worthy outfielder in the All-Star game or DH? Probably not. But people are going to, I know the name from Ozuna from the Braves. But, it's tough. But I still love watching the All-Star game. All the players with their jerseys out, from all individual team jerseys, wearing them from the field in front of the fans. It's a first thing to watch in July. The Derby's amazing. The Tiger's been a huge, great addition to that thing. So I always enjoy All-Star weekend.
Yeah, can't wait to see it this year. They are going back to home and away jerseys of their own teams, not the, AL, NL jerseys, which I kind of like personally. Other than that, again, we're starting to hit kind of the slow season here, right? DJ doing some, hopefully some great news comes from what he's got going on. But yeah, expect Drew on here a lot more this summer, obviously. And yeah, I don't really know what else really going on here. I mean, Drew, I don't know if you are, but, this is a side segment here because we're on the podcast. But what do you watch? You a Love Island guy? You a Love Island? You watching the Bombshells in the Villa?
My girl loves Love Island. I have not jumped on that train, but I've watched Tires though. Tires Shane Gillis has been an amazing
Tires is
season
great.
with
Love Tires.
fights. Vince Vaughn's in it this season. Stavros is killing it. So it's a very fun. It's probably one of the best current comedies you can watch and binge. Like very Office-like, I would say, in a sense. It's always quick jokes, quick humor. It's easy to watch. What about you, Jacob?
I'm locked in on Love Island right now, man. I'm locked in. Kara's got me locked in. I'm locked in with some friends. It's all we talked about at work. I mean, the bombshell after bombshell. People, listen, the one thing I want to say this after Sunday's episode, which was insane, I want justice for my boy Charlie. My boy Charlie was done dirty by the producers and the way that show works. But yeah, justice for my boy Charlie. And that show is, some people are going to be like, they hate on it, blah, blah, blah. Give it a shot and just buy into the fact that it's absolutely ridiculous. Are these women absolutely crazy? Some of them are absolutely. Huda, I'm looking at you, right? Crazy. Are some of the dudes completely clueless? Yeah, I'm looking at Nick. But you just kind of got to buy into all that. So I'm really loving this season so far.
What's your best selling point for a non-Love Islander to jump on the train?
I mean, it's like watching. I'm trying to find a perfect analogy for it.
Is it like Big Brother, kind of like in a sense, or not really?
I think it takes what Big Brother and The Bachelor do really well in terms of the drama and all that. I think it's magnified because it's every day. You get an episode every night, except Wednesday and Saturday, essentially. It's a lot of episodes to feed. You don't have to wait for the suspense. It'll just keep coming. It sucks waiting now. I want the episode out right now so I can watch it because I want to know what happens to Jeremiah and Huda. But yeah, I think the best way to describe it is watch it with a group of friends and just have fun. Roast it, make fun of them. Obviously not online. Do it with your little group. Make some personal inside jokes, but that's what makes it fun. I think it's also just when you watch it, you feel so bad too because it's they're real people with real emotions and going through it as well. But man, it's rough. The craziness of some of these women surprises me.
Also, some inside baseball here for our listeners here. I'm actually going to the Lone Star State to visit Mr. Jacob Prail this week. So we're going to have some Rangers game on Thursday. So we're trying to had the best time possible down in Texas this week.
Yes, he is. We thought about doing a live, but I was like, I don't think I got the equipment to handle the both of us. So I was just like, let's rip this today. I'll pick up Mr. Drew on a Wednesday, which would have been like 2 days ago when this show comes out, and then we'll be vibing up in Texas. So maybe when you come up, Drew, I'll force you to watch like the most recent episode with me, and we'll get you to convert.
Okay, and I think before also you finish, I wanted you to say, the four letters, and the one word, for us on the show. Four letters and one word, 4 letters, one word. Yeet.
I was so confused for a second. I was like, I wasn't prepared for a WWE reference. Well, he has been the Spinnaker Swiss Army Knife UFL champion, Drew McDonald. I have been the main host today of The Deal with D&J. Follow, like, comment, share, subscribe, all platforms. You know where to find us. This has been The Deal with D&J.